Coming up on Mountain News this morning, with snow for most of eastern Kentucky, officials are warning people to stay safe around their space heaters. Plus, officials also want you to be aware of the potential risk the cold weather puts on your home and what you can do to prevent pipes from bursting.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6 a.m. on January 15th. Now let's check in with meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your snowy forecast this Monday morning.
Snowy for sure, Olivia, as we wake up and check out the view from our WYMT studios, and it's 19. It looks pretty, feels cold. It'll feel even colder tomorrow night and into the day on Wednesday. Let's go ahead and we'll check out the view as we get the mouse over on the right computer and see what's going on across the region right now. Again, winter storm warnings remain in effect for all of eastern and southern portions of Kentucky. They're deemed winter weather advisories. The further north you go toward Moorhead and out toward Lexington, this is where we're going to see the bulk of the snow in the winter storm warning area. And that's for all of us from London to Hazard over toward Pikeville, more as you make your way across the high terrain in eastern Kentucky. It's 19 as of last check in Hazard, 20 at Manchester. We've got 11 at Lexington and 7 back toward Louisville. Here's the pinpoint Doppler radar. Again, the darkest of green shades, indicative of the moderate bursts of snow across the region. Pikeville, and then Hazard as you make your way back along Hal Rogers Parkway and Route 80. Make your way back toward Manchester, then eventually through London, pick things up in Pulaski County, Wayne County, and again, a burst of heavier snow that is up toward McKee. Planners, we head through the day today, periods of snow, 1 to 3 inches on top of what we've already accumulated, another 1 to 3 as you make your way around Hazard and Jackson as we head through tonight, and a forecast high close to 24 this afternoon. More about your First Alert 7-day forecast in a few moments. Right now, back to the news desk with Olivia.
All right, thank you, Tim. Winter is the time of year where firefighters respond to more house fires. Some of them can be caused by using extra ways to warm your house. WYMT's RJ Johnson has more.
With frigid temperatures and winter weather set to start, some people might find themselves using a space heater for extra warmth. Corbin Fire Public Information Officer Nathan Kirby says it's important to only use one for each outlet.
A space heater like this one, it's usually going to max out the power that your outlet can send to you. These are about 20 amps, and the outlet can only send out around 20 amps to you. So it's recommended that you use one of these per outlet and not use anything else on that outlet,
while keeping it out of harm's way.
So if you happen to use a kerosene heater, don't put it in a busy traffic area such as front of a door or in a hallway. It has to be in a large room where it's well ventilated, or else you're not able to use it.
When it comes to heaters, Kirby says to make sure yours is newer.
If you're in doubt and yours is old, buy a new one. The newer ones will have a safety sensor on the bottom so that if it falls over, it automatically turns off. Don't leave these running in your home when you're not there. If you leave, turn these off.
Even with using your stove for more heat, he says to keep things away to avoid a fire.
Yeah, if you choose to use your stove in that way, don't have anything around your stove or on top of your stove, you're going to have to open the oven part to let the heat come out of it. And because of that, you would want to let your small children in the house know to stay away from the oven or just keep them away from the kitchen for the time being.
In Corbin, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Kirby says it is important to always keep a carbon monoxide detector in your home and make sure it is low to the ground. And with temperatures falling below freezing, it is important for people to find ways to keep their house or apartment safe. That includes ways to keep pipes from freezing. WYMT's Jack Demler spoke to members of the fire department as well as city officials on ways to keep folks' pipes from freezing and their homes safe.
With millions across the country experiencing freezing temperatures, making sure you are warm in your house or apartment is a top priority.
You know, don't be cold. I mean, we have places, and if you need rides, whatever, we'll try to make arrangements for you to do that. Also, please check on the neighbors and your elderly people.
When trying to keep warm, members with the Hazard Fire Department say it's important to check on air filters regularly.
That way your heat pump isn't having to work as hard. Keep your blinds closed in the house to let any heat that you have stay inside.
As for ways to avoid pipes from freezing, while many rely on leaving their faucets dripping, city officials in Hazard advise not to do that, saying it could cause problems for the city's water.
And we'd also ask people, you know, the temperatures are going to plummet. We know that. Don't let your water run constantly because it will deplete all of our tanks, and then everybody will be in trouble.
Mobilini says with how many miles of water lines that stretch across Perry County, the possibility of a break is high.
Anytime the weather gets below 20 degrees for any significant time, our infrastructure has trouble.
Brandon Smith says there are still ways to keep pipes from freezing without leaving faucets dripping.
A couple things people can do to keep their pipes from freezing over is disconnect your garden hose from the outdoor spigot. You can open your cabinets in your bathroom or kitchen, use space heaters.
Smith says if for some reason your pipes do freeze, it's important to call a licensed plumber for assistance. For Perry County Judge Executive Scott Alexander, it is all about the preparation.
And when it gets down, when we see the weather get down to zero, we know that there's going to be some issues and problems, and so we try to prepare as best as we can to address those as they come.
In Hazard, Jack Demler, WYMT Mountain News.
When using space heaters, Brandon Smith says it's important to keep it on a flat surface to a 3 to 5 foot distance. Lexington Fayette Animal Care and Control is also prepped for winter weather. When the temperature drops, Lieutenant Jay Hamilton with Lexington Fayette Animal Care and Control says cruelty calls for outdoor pets continue to roll in. Hamilton says if you have outdoor pets, there are signs to look out for that they're too cold.
So if anyone has an outdoor animal and they want to bring the animal indoors, they can safely do that. If they had a crate, we have them available. So all they have to do is call up, speak to an officer, and we can get you set up with what you need.
Lexington does have a city ordinance in place that pet owners must follow to ensure the safety of their outdoor animals, and not abiding by these guidelines could mean jail time and fines. One Breathitt County business is dealing with the loss of a building after an early morning fire this weekend. The Jackson Fire Department responded to a call that Country Kitchen in Jackson was in flames at approximately 3 a.m. Sunday morning. The Watts Caney Fire and Rescue as well as Van Cleve Fire Department responded to the scene. Ultimately, fire officials say the fire resulted in a total loss of the business. One person has died in a house fire in Floyd County. Firefighters say a female's body was recovered from inside a mobile home along Willow Valley just before 8 Sunday morning. The victim's identity has not yet been released. The coroner's office is now escorting her body to the medical examiner's office. In Laurel County, multiple fire departments responded to a fire on I-75 South. Early Sunday morning, the Laurel County Fire Department, East Bernstadt Fire and Rescue, and Ecotech USA responded to a commercial vehicle fire. The highway was closed but was reopened just before 10 p.m. According to Lexington Police, 475 guns were reported stolen in 2023. The Lexington Police also say that 86% of all guns stolen in 2023 were stolen from vehicles. Sean Morrow is the special agent in charge of alcohol, tobacco, and firearms in Kentucky. He says while there's no state law preventing legal gun owners from keeping their firearms in their vehicles, storing them safely could help promote public safety.
That means that a lawful gun owner left a firearm unsecured in a vehicle and a criminal was able to break in and obtain that firearm. Now, a burglary can ultimately lead to a violent crime.
If you must keep your firearm in your vehicle, Special Agent Morrow recommends considering a trigger mechanism or a lockbox to make sure your gun can't be used by someone who shouldn't have it.
And a good Monday to you. It's a first alert weather day as the snow continues to fly, and check out the view from outside our studios. You can see, if you look closely here, the snow continues to fall. As you look at the street lighting, you can see the same deal at Buffalo Mountain. A little hard to see from the London Corbin Airport, but nonetheless, you look toward Moorhead and Pikeville, you can see light accumulations, but light at this point means not only wet roadways, but with these temperatures, slick roadways if they haven't been treated yet. Winter storm warnings again for eastern and southern Kentucky, lingering into early tomorrow morning. This is where we're going to see the bulk of the snow. Another 1 to 3 on top of what we've already seen fall on the overnight period. That's for today. Ditto that again heading through tonight. And again, a storm total from Hazard back to Jackson of about 3 to 6 inches of snow. In Hazard, as of last check, 19, there's that significant blast of Arctic air slowly bleeding into the region, and the pinpoint Doppler radar shows some heavier bursts of rain just to the west-southwest of Jackson, flip-flopping some colors here. Again, from Pikeville, more so now, Hazard, Jamaica Way, Route 80, Manchester back toward London, Boonville, McKee, Jamaica Way, south of Madison County, and another burst of snow Jamaica Way around Somerset Point west. All right, periods of snow as we head through the day on your Monday, and a forecast high up close to 24. All right, how cold when we wake up on Wednesday morning? We'll let you know. You may not want to see. Your first alert 7-day forecast coming up in a few moments. Olivia?
Thank you, Tim, and thanks for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up today, Iowa Republicans will caucus and candidates are urging supporters to brave the dangerously cold weather and go vote.